Okay, so if we spray some leak detector on this, I'll be able to show you where this is leaking from. This is a common failure point on these. Okay, so hopefully you can see I've sprayed some leak detector here. You see this bubble here that's getting bigger? That is a leak. So what happens is this bottom collar is metal, and inside of it is a couple of rubber O-rings that tighten it against the shock. Now what happens is corrosion gets inside of there, and then obviously lets the air leak out. As you see, this bubble is getting bigger as we're watching, so that is why this air strut is leaking. So what we're going to do now is we are going to get ready to start removing this, and then we can replace this shock absorber with the one that I've ordered, which I did order a genuine refurbished unit, and it looks like I've been sent an aftermarket unit, which is not ideal, but okay, now that we've got the wheel off, we can see the strut, which is this part here that we've just seen where the air leak is appearing. So what makes this different to the pre-Raven struts is that this has the ASD system. So we have this canister here, and there's also a canister on this side that has an electrical connector that goes to it. That only appears on the ASD struts on the Raven cars, which is why this is a slightly different process. Other than that, it's pretty much the same. There's a bolt in the bottom that goes into the lower control arm, 3 bolts in the top, and an airline on the top as well. So that part's the same as any other car, but with these 2 parts here, that's what makes this suspension different to the pre-Raven. Okay, so there's a 10mm bolt on top here that secures this brake pipe to the top of this canister. So remove that 10mm. And then on this side, we've got an electrical connector in the top here. Which we disconnect like so. What we can then do once we disconnect that is lift up the back of that clip, and that slides off. There's also one on the back, which is not the easiest to get to, but it's the same as one on the front. There you go. What I've done there is I've just undone the 21mm that's in the bottom that goes into the control arm. But I'm going to leave that in place. Okay, next port of call is going to be to go into the top. Now we've removed all of that, now we can see. So this is the top of the suspension strut here. So what you can see, which is the problem on this side, which isn't a problem on that side, is obviously all of these air con lines. So you've got 1 bolt here, 1 bolt here, 1 bolt back there, and then the air line right in the middle. So this side is a bit of a nightmare to do. The other side is a lot easier. You can just move the fuse box forward and then do that. For this side, it's a bit of a battle to get these out, so you have to use a few flexi bits. But yeah, let's get these. Okay, this is my solution, so I'm going to use a flexible end with a 13mm. What I'm doing here is I'm just removing this black plastic bracket that sits underneath the brake fluid reservoir. So I'm just going to remove that. Right. And then I'll just move that to the side because once you get that out, it's very difficult to get it back in. What I'd advise is leaving this one in, the easy one, because once you crack these off, it makes it a bit easier to get them. You only have to crack them, you don't have to undo them all the way. Now that we've got everything undone, the bolts from the top, the airline, the bolt from the bottom's out, we should now be able to remove this strut from the car. Okay, there you go. So there'll be a lot of people that tell you you can't get this out like that. You can't get it out without taking off this top arm. If it's easier, undo this bolt and then this will tip away and you can get this out easier. But all I did was push the arm down and got the front of this over the lower control arm to get it to come out. And there you go. The reverse of what I did to take it out. So I'm going to slide it behind this brake line. Then slide it up into place, spin it around, and then slide that up into place. I'll show you now what I'm doing with this. What I'm doing is I'm going to slide the top up. I'm going to get the bolts in. So the bolts on top, you see now, this bit of this arm is hitting. So all I'm going to do, push down, that allows me to pull that across, and then there you go, we're in. And then we'll get our bolt. Now we've got the bottom bolts in there. What we need to do now is, I use one of the top bolts and I'm going to push this up and I'm going to put my hand over and put it on top. There you go. Whew. Now what we're going to do, remember to attach your brake line. I saw a car once that didn't have this reattached. It made a horrible noise when it was being driven. It was like a knocking constantly. Okay, so what I've done there is I've put back on the two electrical connectors onto here, and I've done the 10mm up over here. I've also got the bottom bolt in. It just needs the nut to go on the back of it. I bring the car down and I'm going to start trying to work on getting those top 13mm and the 10mm airline onto the top of the strut, and then we'll be ready to put the car down, put it under load and start torquing it. So let's do that. Okay, so we've got our first 10mm already on here loosely. This is the one that I reached over with my hand. So we'll bring this up. Number 2 goes on there. Number 3 in there. So do these ones up as tight as you can. We can obviously torque them the best we can once we've got it all back together. And then what you're going to do is, you can use the new Voss fitting. You don't always have to. I'm not going to use new Voss fitting on this. But if you do this up hand tight, the airline, and then just a little turn with the 10mm, because it's only 2 Newton meters torque on this, which is obviously very, very, very low. Okay, so these top ones, they go to 39 Newton meters. So we'll get this to, we get this to 39. So you can tighten these ones when the vehicle's still on the lift, the wheel's still up. The one on the bottom you have to tighten under load. We'll do these ones first. Obviously I have to use the long extension bar. I have no choice on these because of the angle of them. 39. Oh. Now, before you all say it, I know this is not the most ideal way to talk about, but given the position of those bolts, unless I'm going to take half the car apart, I'm not going to get better than this. I'm going to stick with this, what I've done here. I'm confident that's good enough. So what we're going to do now is we're now going to go underneath. We put the car under load to be able to tighten the inner bolt on the lower control arm. So if I put the car under load, we'll tighten that down to 140 millimeters, and then we're ready for this one. So put the wheel back on and see how it goes. Okay, so to be able to torque this under load correctly, obviously at the minute there's no air in that air strut at all, so I'm going to have to put the wheel back on. I've just roughly tightened up that lower bolt, and then we'll get the air back into the system, get the car to normal ride height, and then we'll be able to torque that lower bolt. Okay. Let's bring the car down. In order to torque this under load, you see what I've done is I put alloy wheels underneath each of the wheels. Gives me a bit of space to get underneath there and torque this up.